Welcome, everybody, to the new episode of The Pondcast. My name is Draco, and joining me today are Sunryu
Hello.
and Good Gamer Glen.
Alola.
And today's episode is Battle at the Pond Oshawott. In preparation for Pokemon Legends Arceus later this month, we wanted to get the last of the starter Pokemon done and how each of us would train them. The series in itself is just a very laid-back view of how each of us would train our Pokemon, whether it's for casual play or competitive. Oshawott is a pure water type from Gen 5. Its abilities are Torrent, when its HP is below 1/3 its maximum. Powers of water-type moves is increased by 50%. And its hidden ability is Shell Armor, which is opponents cannot get critical hits on this character. Oshawott, being a pure water type, takes 2 times damage from grass and electric, but only half damage from steel, fire, water, and ice types. Its base stats total to 308, with hit points at 55, its attack at 55, defense at 45, special attack of 63, special defense at 45, and speed at 45. So starting off, we're going to take a look at Good Gamer Glen's build. What do you got for us today, buddy?
Okay, so it was kind of hard for me to figure out what kind of build I wanted to do for it. I mean, just looking at its stats, one would usually think, oh, it's got its highest stat special attack. So I was like, okay, maybe we can play around that a little bit. So what I decided was just to make Oshawott a completely neutral nature. And I maxed out all his EV points on both attack and special attack. Because why not? I mean, like, I look at his move pool, he kind of has like a very not diverse, but like he's very split between physical and special attacks. So with that, I gave him like these moves are kind of up in the air a little bit because you can kind of switch in between them. Like his first move, like I put Razor Shell because it is a physical ability. It's only hitting for 75 power, but it does have a 50% chance of dropping defense, which I think would kind of be beneficial. The second move I put on here, this is a toss-up as well, either Icy Wind or Ice Beam. I went more towards Icy Wind just to drop speeds because, you know, it works. And if you're going in like a double battle or something, then at least you can hit both of your opponent's Pokemon as well, so there's nothing wrong with that. Third move, this one I found interesting because I didn't even realize I got this move as an egg move, which was Air Slash. I was like, I guess it makes sense of like what his theme is for when he evolves and everything, but I just wasn't expecting it. And then last move, well, this is just for purely competitive use. It's just Protect. It's always nice having Protect. As for the item I put on it, I really couldn't decide. It was like a throw between like just a regular berry or something, or a pinch berry, or like Eviolite, just so that it can stay alive a lot longer. Maybe Focus Sash if you want to do it too. But I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Like that's the move pool and stuff that I came up with.
There's an interesting build balancing attack and special attack. So that way you can go either physical or special, which is nice for both coverage, either way. That Pokemon that are weaker to that defense.
Yeah, you brought up a good point. I turned him into a physical and special damage dealing support. Oh man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I've got to admit, I'm chuckling as you're going through them, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting indeed.
Oh, God. And I just realized, Air Slash is the move that flinches, right? Like, that's Togekiss.
Yes.
Move, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, I mean, I like the fact that you definitely tried to capitalize on both its high special attack stat and throw somebody off with that physical attack tossed in there. So that makes it for an interesting build, and it makes it also harder to predict which way you're going to go. And I like the fact that you threw Air Slash in there because grass being one of its weaknesses, you've got massive advantage on that.
Thanks for pointing that out, though. I didn't even realize. Damn, I was just like looking for like coverage moves and stuff and like a stab. I didn't even realize it turned him into partly support now.
All right, son, let's hear your build, my friend.
So the nature I went with Oshawott is Timid. The spread I have for his EVs is maxed out in special attacks, speed, and then 4 and HP. For the item, I chose Choice Scarf because I want him to be like the faster Pokemon against the other one. That way I don't get outspeed and lose, and speed. And then for the moves, I chose first one is Scout. That way I can burn, like have a chance to burn the Pokemon while damaging with the water type. And then the second one is Air Slash as well as that way to coverage against grass type, bug, whatever swing gets flying, which is very nice, and also a chance to flinch. And then my third move is Ice Beam, which is also be useful for type that he like I'll have type advantage because of Ice Beam, and it can surprise my opponent because they probably won't see that one coming. And then my last move is Surf, because I wasn't sure what to choose for the last one, but I chose Surf because that way it can just do more damage, and then it can be good for double battle too as well. If I had a water Pokemon with water Azor or something else. So I'm sorry, the ability is turret.
I think it sounds pretty good. Like I definitely wouldn't have gone with Timid, only because I just look at his speed stat, right, and just think, 45. This seems kind of low. I mean, even for a starter.
That's why I did it, so I can outspeed and surprise my opponent. That's for surprise.
So. Yeah. So that's why I was surprised too. So you literally took me by surprise there. But. And then the next surprise was the fact that you actually put on a choice scarf on it as well, just so that it moves first. You're guaranteeing your priority, right?
Yes.
And with the moves that you chose as well for it, what was it, Scald, Ice Beam, Air Slash, and
Surf.
The Surf, all those moves already do quite the bit of damage already, or quite the amount of damage already. And then with some of them having those secondary effects, so the chance to burn, you're constantly using it, or Ice Beam, and then there's still that chance to freeze the opponent, or the Air Slash to flinch, right? It's so that's all in all is already pretty good. I think it's pretty nuts. Especially from what you said too, using Surf especially in a doubles battle with something that probably has water absorb on your side, or I don't know if Storm Drain would affect it, but that would also be kind of cool as well. So but yeah, I thought the build was pretty stuff. Like you said, it took me by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that you went with Ice Beam again, covering for that grass type weakness, but capitalizing on they're going to be able to outspeed your Oshawott between the choice scarf and dumping your EVs into the speed stat as well as giving it a speedy nature. I think, yeah, you've definitely got a surprise attacker there, and the odds are with you. Not only will you surprise your opponent by going first, but you can even capitalize on either giving them a burn, which is going to weaken their physical attack, or freeze them with the Ice Beam, which means that they're not moving at all. I was chuckling. I'm not going to lie. That was actually brilliant on your part.
And then that added flinch too. It's yeah, you're not going to be moving anytime soon. Yep.
plus the tick damage.
Yeah.
And for my build, I decided to kind of pull a page from one of our guests, Joe, from the passenger seat. He did something with one of the builds that we did previously, where he went against the grain, and I couldn't help but do the same on this one. I just felt inspired. So for my Oshawott, I chose an adamant nature, and the ability was shell armor. The reason was because I want this guy to be in there for the long haul. So I couldn't decide whether I wanted to use the King's Rock or the Eviolite. If we're sticking with Oshawott, Eviolite. If we're going to eventually evolve him all the way up, King's Rock is kind of my thought process on this. So my EVs went into attack 228, which brings his attack stat up to about a 114. The defense and special defense both got 140 points, which brings that number up to about 83. So if you're rocking Eviolite, you're looking at over a 120 defense and special defense. Okay. And you cannot be critted now. So your damage will pretty much be straight. With the massive boost to the physical attack, I went with Razor Shell, because that 50% chance to drop a defense stat means all of my physical attacks are going to do a lot more damage. I took in Aerial Ace. it doesn't have a percentage check, so it always hits. And it again gives me that coverage of against grass typing. I also took Sacred Sword, which is only available through Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. It doesn't matter how much my opponent buffs his Pokemon's defense, Sacred Sword will punch right through, as if they didn't do anything at all. And of course, Detect, because you can't really go full onto the floor and not expect your opponent to have something in the background for you, you know? So I figured I'd throw that Detect in there in case I needed to see what my opponent's movesets might be, in case they might have something that's gonna take me by surprise. Detect will prevent that from happening. I also was kind of sticking with a thematic samurai, so the Sacred Sword, the Aerial Ace, and the Razor Shell just kind of felt right.
I can definitely see the theme there. I like it, especially I think when you mentioned earlier if you were going to turn into a samurai. I think that's actually pretty good thematically. I just remembered that Sacred Sword thing as soon as you brought it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that on the list on Serebii, and like it was an egg move for only, I think it was an egg move, right? And in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon only. So that's actually pretty interesting. The fact that it even gets that. I mean, granted, I don't think that works to any of the type coverages that he needs, but the fact that it ignores defense buffs is already pretty good, and it already hits pretty hard at that.
Yeah, I mean, a 90 attack and 100% accuracy. It's his strongest hitting attack, but again, to get past those defenses that somebody might decide to put on their Pokemon, Sacred Sword's just gonna say nope.
And then if they even get the defense down from the Razor Shell earlier or something, then more damage to them.
So yeah, that's an interesting build you got. So you balance them to be offense and defense, which is very nice. So that way you can survive longer and also do damage. Detect is also good if you need to prevent your opponent from finish him off.
One of the things I was thinking about with this character was utilizing a Cosmic Power user like Clefairy. So you go Cosmic Power, you've boosted your defense and your special defense, and you can baton pass that boost into Oshawott, making him a bit more tanky. So not only is he gonna be able to take a couple of hits, he's actually gonna be able to dish it out again too.
Literally almost like an off-tank character then at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for,
I like it. Especially just thinking about Cosmic Power too.
You figure you increase the stages by 50%. So even if you got one Cosmic Power and batoned into Oshawott, you're now looking at even base defense. You're looking at what? It's like 66, 67 on an unevolved starter, and then you smack Eviolite on top of that, and now you're getting a bit ridiculous on defensives without even touching the EVs.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you just concentrate all on his power, you're golden. I mean, he might be good in a Trick Room too, just because of the slow attack speed. If I remember, Oshawott does get quite a few decent movesets as well.
I feel like you could run something like Focus Energy on him if you just want to land crits, but I think in that case it would just be if you're building a more offensive build. If you do want to run something else here, like if you do want to play more on the special side, of course, you could probably have something like Scald or Hydro Pump depending on your damage, or if you want to burn. If you're going physical, the other option would also be Waterfall, because it does have that 20% to flinch. I mean, flinching is always good. The other option on there is to put, I think, what was it? X Scissor, I think, that it gets for its bug type move. Like, it just gives them some grass type coverage, right? So, that would help out against grass types. You also have that advantage over psychic types as well, with it being a bug move if you take X Scissor, and dark types, I guess.
Well, I mean, if you look at the move sets, Oshawott has a really balanced set of pools. I mean, you could go straight special, you could go straight physical, you can even just go support. And Oshawott's got a move set that works. I mean, you've got Copycat, you've got Detect, you've got Screech, Helping Hand.
Well, he even has Confide as a TM, so you can lower target special attack with it. What?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, or if you wanted to go physical, you've got Frustration, you've got Return, Aerial Ace, Facade, False Swipe, Fling. X Scissor's another great one. That's actually one of my go-tos. Usually, I didn't take it for Oshawott this time because I only have so many slots. Fifth slot, X Scissor would have been in there, trust me. Or if you wanted to go special attack, you've got Surf, you've got Round. which again, going back to a previous episode with Jay, he was like, yeah, round, you get a couple of Pokemon together, you start using round, and that attack starts getting more and more damaging every time you use it. Rain Dance for Weather Setter, Toxic, Workup.
And then I think using Sun's build too a little bit with
What Fling and Covet. No, that's where you take Fling and you take Covet and you use the two in tandem. You fling your item at them to take priority, right? And then you covet the next turn. They still take damage. They no longer have an item.
Have a follow me Pokemon for a doubles battle on that second turn that you covet. Oh,
I was just about to say that. Follow me, Clefairy. No. Friend guard Clefairy, follow me. Oh, you're not going to hit him, but you're not going to have to deal with me.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, that's the Evilite.
Assurance is a great one as well for Oshawott because the speed attack is so slow.
Oh yeah, so he's always going to go.
I've taken damage, now I'm doubling it back.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
I mean, you can get crazy with it if you have an entrainer that can give it Protean on him. Then Revenge gets disgusting, or even Assurance gets really nasty as well because, all of a sudden, I'm a fighting type, and I'm hitting you for stab and double the damage. So that 60 power automatically pops to about a 180. I mean, it takes a bit of work to get there, but you see where I'm going with it. Oshawott's actually not one of my favorite Pokemon, but I can appreciate the versatility that it brings to the table because you could really just not do anything with this guy, and it will just start wrecking if you build, depending on which way you're going. All right, so that's pretty much it for Oshawott. Please let us know down below what you guys thought of our build, or even better, if you guys have ideas of your own, please share them. We'd love to hear about them. And as always, thank you for joining us, and have yourself a wonderful day, guys. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Lola.
Goodbye.